Hey, Arrow.
Hey, Darren, how are you doing today, sir?
I'm good, sir.
I hope you're. I'm doing fantastic. I hope you're practicing your award speech. This album. Oh my God, God is on your side, and you are going to be moving some people with this.
Thank you, bro. Thank you. It's been an absolute joy to do the record, and I just feel delighted about it.
You gotta tell me how you discovered this form of writing where you invite us in with kind of a soft edge and then you kick it in and it's like, oh, and it's like, I love the way that you allow us to travel with the lyrics.
Thank you. I guess I grew up listening to a lot of like Johnny Cash and Willie Nelson, and they had this punk rock attitude, you know. And then I fell in love with proper punk rock music too. And over the years, you know, doing what I do, you know, again, recent bands like Bleachers have been a big influence on me. I love storytelling, but I love storytelling that draws you into this narrative about joy through kind of punk rock and roll music. And yeah, kind of just stumbled upon it. But the album sounds exactly like what's going on in my head and in my heart at the moment, Aaron. And it's just privileged to get to do this.
The title track hit, Where the Joy Is, this is a total crossover. I totally see this on a top 40 station or an adult contemporary top 40 station because it reminds me so much of the days of Amy Grant and even Stryper. This is a groundbreaking tune that's going to open up a lot of doors.
Oh, mate, thank you. For me, I guess, you know, when I'm writing, I'm not really thinking about crossover or not crossing over. For me, I'm writing songs that will rescue people in the dead of night when the monsters come for them. Yeah. And in my own life, music has done that for me. And I just hope it goes far and wide. I believe it can change people's lives. And really all I'm trying to do is just provide the soundtrack, the anthems for people on their journey towards joy.
Yeah. Well, I mean, look at what you did with the song 1,000 times. I mean, we've seen him do it 1,000 times. It put me in a realm of thinking going, oh my God, it is so true. It is so true what he's singing about here.
Man, thank you. You know, we live in a culture, I guess, where we're kind of panicked at the moment about everything. And I think, you know, just to ground ourselves and remind ourselves that God is good in every situation and circumstance. He's proven that all throughout history. He's going to prove it today and he's going to prove it tomorrow. And I loved even shooting the video for that one. We were out in the Brooklyn Bridge in New York and just this swarm of people from every, you know, tribe and race and identity and ethnicity. And it just reminded him of how good God is to everyone. And so, yeah, that's the hope in that song is we'll tell you, you know what, when life gets too hard, too messy, hold on. God's going to come through just like he always does, and he'll do that 1,000 times more too.
Being out there on the road, are you bringing speakers as well? I mean, because I'm with Elevation Church and Elevation Worship. When they take their show out on the road, Pastor Furtick is with them. Are you just the band, or are you guys bringing the message as well?
We bring the message as well, but I guess I describe us as a Friday night band. We're not a Sunday morning band, we're a Friday night band.
I love it.
So we draw you in, I guess, with rock and with anthems and with these pop hooks. And then the hope is that the lyric and the melody creep up over the walls you build around your heart, and then that the message gets in there. And you know, the thing with us, Arrow, is we'll stop the show in the middle of the set just to talk with someone, nice. You know, just to invite someone on stage. You know, we're always looking for an opportunity to share Jesus. And it's like, I guess that's why the album is called Where the Joy Is. This one is really good news. And in my life, I've struggled to find joy. I've found happiness at times. But now that I've found this joy, I would never sell it. It can't be bought, can't be sold. And that's what we communicate at our shows. And our hope is that people leave better than they came in.
I love how the album is described as 10 pristine arena pop selections. And then I listened to the album. And then I went back and listened to it again and again and again. You really have mastered that. It's almost like Def Leppard 2024.
Oh, come on. Come with it. Now you're going to get me excited. That's all the stuff I grew up on listening to. Yeah, do you know, isn't it funny how sometimes in your life, you know, you try and write anthems and you try and write bangers, but there's just not that feeling in your heart. And I guess in my chest right now, because of this joy I've found in Jesus, like it just feels like I've got an anthem in my heart day and night. And so when you describe it or when people describe it like that, it thrills me because this Jesus news is good news for the world. It is not bad news. He isn't dead. He's alive. And he's worth celebrating. And that's what I intend doing with the rest of my life.
Wow. The song, My Hope in You, this is totally summer. Are you going to release this as a single in the next few weeks?
Mate, yeah, it's going to be out on streaming platforms. Yeah. It's an absolute banger. Again, that's kind of taken from a lot of the influences I'm listening to at the moment. I've really been hooked on this Jack Antonoff record, Bleachers. And there's something in it that inspired a lot of the kind of 80s synth in that song. And so it just moves at like 90 BPM, and it gets the heart moving and the feet dancing. So I'm thrilled with that one.
When it comes to how people are discovering you, I mean, 450 million streams, 2.7 billion airplay. I mean, you this right here is a living story of how God has dropped the four walls of the church and put you out there in the real world.
Yeah, I think it's quite incredible, really. Like, I'm sitting here in Ireland looking out at the woods. I'm a very ordinary man from a tiny little community that God has used to travel the world and to communicate hope to messy, broken people like me. And, Arrow, we're not the tidy Sunday morning band. We're hanging out with people who are rough around the edges and a little bit broken, a little bit bruised. And Jesus uses us all to reach a vast array of people. But my people are the outsiders, the immigrants, the lost, the lonely, the least, the poor, the broken. And that's who we write these songs for.
Yeah. You're in Ireland looking out there at that forest. I'm here in Carolina looking out my window in the forest. I just saw 3 deer not even 3 or 4 minutes ago. What are you seeing in your forest?
Mate, this morning I was out picking daffodils down by the river, and with my little boy for my wife, and we were just chatting about the deer. He was saying, "Daddy, how many deer live in our woods?" And I was like, "Son, there's thousands of them." So yeah, we get deer every day out here, just eating in the trees behind me.
Native American spirituality teaches us that the deer represents Jesus Christ in the way that a deer is willing to sacrifice its life for us to be fed. And so every time I see a deer, I thank God. I'm like, I was meant to see this moment.
Yeah, mate, and even out here, the Native Americans also talk about thin places, and the Irish do too. Yeah. There are little places where heaven seems closer to the earth, and I live in one of those places. And just before we hopped on the phone call, I was up back by the creek, by a wee waterfall, and it's been pretty extraordinary to live out here.
Wow. Man, I just love the connection with nature and the universe. And, the Native Americans call him the great creator. And then when you open up your eyes to learn to love all living things, all of a sudden messages start coming through your system of choice.
Yeah, like you can see Jesus in everything. And everywhere. But I guess that's where even that idea of where the joy is, if I can look at my life and others' lives through that lens, through the lens of joy, I can see the goodness of God in every situation, no matter how beautiful or how terrible it really is.
Yeah. What was it like to work with Ben Fuller and Blanca?
Amazing. Yeah, Ben is a man of high integrity. He's a wild man. He's on fire for Jesus. I've known him for years. He's one of my favorites. And, Blanca, the same. She's walked through a lot of hurt in her life recently with a separation. And I just wanted people who understood those songs, who could elevate the songs. And, yeah, they are phenomenal. And good features should always make a song better. And both of those have done that.
Darren, does it start off with writing the lyric first, or are you sitting there messing around with that guitar?
Most of the time I'm an idea guy, so I love the idea, and if I have the idea, the melody follows. But again, on the wall here beside me is a wee guitar, and there's a track on the album called "Worthy of Being Loved," and I actually wrote that song sitting right where I am now with that little parlor guitar, and so it's kind of where the inspiration strikes. But I'll never write a song unless I have an idea, because otherwise you're just hunting for something. And it's too important not to use a song for something much greater than a melody.
How often do you sit there and say, "Okay, God, I have to give this one to you. I'm stumbling on this particular chorus. It's yours. What do you want me to do with this song?"
Yeah, no, not so often. I tell you why, because I refuse to write unless I have something that God has given me to say. Nice. I never wanted to be a man who forced something, who pretended. And so there's a lot of areas in my life that I've messed up over the years, Arrow, but songwriting is something I've given to God. I've kind of put a hedge around that and protected it and kept it clean.
Yep.
And I guess that's why he's used us the way he has.
Oh, I love where your heart is. Oh, when you come to the Carolinas, we've got to sit down and have a face-to-face.
I would 100% love that, Aaron. I really would.
Excellent. What's your website? Because I want listeners to find you and to support you. And if you've got merchandise, it's time to sell it.
You're very good. WeAreMessengersMusic.com, and you can get us on all the usual socials at We Are Messengers. And yeah, mate, thank you for being so kind. Thank you for taking the time to care about what we're doing, for listening to the record. That means a lot to me.
Well, you be brilliant today, okay?
Mate, and you too, Aaron. May the Lord bless you. Have a great day.
Thank you, sir.
Cheers, mate.